Hey guys, in this video we'll see how we can auto submit a workflow. So our scenario is that, let me go to application here. So as soon as we'll create so for example, let me click on this new button. So as soon as I click on this general ledger, this one, once I click on save, so automatically you see, currently I need to submit this workflow manually. So what will happen, we'll write a code that will automatically submit this workflow and then we'll get it something like this. So for example, you see this workflow, we have already submitted this one. So we are getting this recall and view history option. So similarly, we'll auto submit this workflow. There will be no manual intervention. So this is what we are going to configure, and this type of requirement generally comes, for whenever you want a certain kind of, ledgers. As soon as those type of ledgers are getting created, you want to get it automatically submitted. So we could use, these type of requirement are quite frequent, and we could use it there. Yeah. So for that, we'll first of all, we'll uh, write the code at form level, the form data source level. So since this particular data, it usually get created into this particular form. So when we click here into this, you see the form name is ledger general table. So we'll check this particular form in backend. So let's expand this here and let's say ledger general table. So we'll create extension of this form. So to create an extension, we'll create a code extension. So this will take some time to create the code extension of this form. So we are going to write code at write method. So guys, this gets created. Okay, so here if you see currently the extension that is COC, the COC is form str. So I want to change it to form data source. So I will simply write here form data source, and here this is our form name. Then I will write my form data source name. So the name of my form data source is nothing, it's ledger general table. So we'll save this one now. Copy it. Okay, I think I forgot to write here form data source string str. So let's save this one. Okay, now let's go to this particular form. So I'll simply right click and we'll go to its definition. So once you see here, when you expand the data source node and you go to this ledger general table, expand this method node. So we have already the write function available here. So simply view code. So we'll be writing our main logic here. Okay, so we simply need this piece of code. Okay, here this is a typing mistake. QRNAL. And save this. Okay, that's fine now. So okay, let me write this way. Like void write. So since we are creating a COC here, so we'll simply write next write, and we'll close this one. Let me click here, write. So this is how we'll create a COC. Let me do the indentation properly. Now, when you create a form data source COC, so you can easily get a form data source. So I'm going to create object of form data source here. I will simply write FDS. And since this will belong to my form data source, so My form data source will go into this particular variable. And I will also need buffer of my ledger general table. So create let me create an object of my ledger general table here. And from my this form data source, I could get the cursor here. So I will write here simply form data source dot cursor. Now I have the correct record here. So next, first of all, we'll need to check, for which type of journal we are going to automatically submit this one. So we are only interested this to get auto submitted for this journal type, that is this one. So I will simply place this one here. So yeah. So here we have this particular table, right? Ledger journal table. So we'll write ledger journal table. And here I can easily get journal name so that this only runs for my this journal type. And here we'll simply say equals to and this particular GEN ZRN ZRN, sorry. So we'll put a if condition here. So inside our if condition, we are first of all going to check whether we have active workflow here. So for that we need to write the workflow class. So inside this class we have a method named as active workflow active from workflow type. So this one. So if you see here, we need certain parameters. The first one is we need the workflow type name. So to get our workflow type name, you can simply, if you will go here, so if we'll go to general ledger and then go to this one. So this is the, correct one. So you see here the type is ledger daily template, this one, right? Ledger daily template. So we'll go to again VS Code here. So we need the workflow. So this needs a workflow type name. So we'll use a workflow type str function, this one, and then we'll simply write the name of our workflow, that is workflow type, that is ledger daily template. And again we need to put this one into our string. So if you go here, go this one. So we'll close this one. Now the next information here is we need the you see here we need the rec ID of our current record. So we could simply get our rec ID from our ledger journal table, that is ledger journal table dot rec ID. So here we go. So let me close this one here. So now we have also got the rec ID. Now we need the workflow comment. So I will say, so let me write a comment here. So when the workflow will get submitted, what comment actually we need here? So I will write auto submitted for GEN ZRN type. Okay, so this would be my workflow type. Yeah, this one is whether activated from web or not. So we'll say this as no. And then at the end, we need the workflow user. So which user has submitted. Since we'll be creating this from form, so we could use this current user ID function. I will simply close this one. So this has simply checked whether the workflow is activated or not for this one. So After that, once this is, activated, so we could write here ledger, journal, table. Again, copy this. Ledger journal table dot. So we need to update a field here. So there's a field called workflow approval status. So if we'll go back to Application Explorer and let's open this form. Let's go to this form. We'll go to table here and we'll go for that particular field. This workflow. You see this workflow approval status and the type here, it is an enum type. So enum type is this one. So let me right click here and simply go to its base enum. So what is base enum here? It's ledger journal WF approval status. So we need to assign the submitted value here. So for that we'll simply uh, do equals to the name was ledger journal workflow WF app approval status, and we are going to simply submit it. And at the end we will simply update this. We need to update our table as well. It will write the update method here. And again, we also need the TTS begin and commit as well. Here, let me write this inside a if statement. So I will remove this one, this, and at the end I will put this into if statement. If this is activated, then only go into this code. And once this is done, at the end we also need to refresh our form, because when you create a record, we so that the user no need to again refresh it. So we could use this form data source is already available to us, and we could simply use the research function here, and we can pass true value here. Okay. Okay, so let me remove this from here. This one, this one, this one. Try to save. Let me trigger a build here. Yep. So guys, one correction that we really need to make here is I forget to type here R. So when I, write here R as well, because earlier we haven't write R. So once I wrote that, then I did a build and I, build. So now it's working properly. So when you click on new journal and you choose type here as journal and you save this journal, so then you will see this automatically gets submitted. Okay, now if you want to see history, you can see history here. This is activated and you could see the comment here auto submitted by journal type that we have written here. So we have written code at form data source write method. Now depending upon your requirement, you could put more validation, you could add modified field. If the lines are not available, then you could put all these type of conditions here. So this was just to give an idea. Thank you for watching the video.